All right, let's see if we're cooking now. Salute to everybody watching. This is the weekly wrap-up, CP from KnicksFanTV. This is the number one show for the fans, by the fans. If you're a diehard Knicks fan who loves to talk about Knicks news, Knicks rumors, and post-game live analysis featuring live callers, smash that subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Once again, this is the weekly wrap-up where we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly that was the Knicks. And right now, there's not a lot of good to be proud about. There's a lot of bad and a lot of ugly. Knicks go in through week 5 of the NBA season with an abysmal record of 4-14, coming off of an abysmal loss to the Brooklyn Nets, Battle of New York, Act 2. Knicks fall again, 103-101. Where do we go from here? The fan base is anxious. The fan base is angry. There's a lot of people looking forward to December 15th. So, it's rough, man. It is rough. So we're gonna wrap up the week and touch on a couple things, man. Hang in there, Knicks Nation. You know that these we're used to these times, unfortunately. Some people have bailed until February or until the trade deadline, but I'm here. So if you guys are here rocking with me, man, hit that thumbs up for you boys. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. No calls tonight. We had a good show last night, and we'll have another show Wednesday night after the Raptors game. So I'm just going to get through a couple of these points. So where are we going with the good? You guys might be asking. I know people, whenever I do these shows, they're like, man, there's no good. It's just all bad and ugly. But look, if we're going to get into a good, if I had to choose something, and I'm taking the whole week holistically, not just last night or last Sunday or the Philly game, I got to say Frank had a good week overall. I got to say Frank Ntilikina did have a good week. Especially the Philly game. Obviously, it was highlighted by the Philly game. But even if you go back to the game against the Cavaliers, I thought Frank's defense was something that set the tone in that game. Remember, the Cavaliers had washed the Knicks up the last time they played by almost 20, 30 points. And so the Knicks had to make it an emphasis to come out strong. And I thought Frank's pressure defense on the opposing guards on Cleveland was really what set the tone for us that game. And that allowed us to really get off to a good start because, you know, the Knicks are known for getting off to lousy starts. And that's when Julius had his game as well. And then obviously the Philly game. The Philly game was Frank's coming out party for the season. 17 points. He finished with no assists, funnily enough, but I still thought he got the ball moving. And if you look at some of these highlights from this clip that I'm playing here, what you're seeing is Frank being assertive, him being aggressive, being the instigator on offense, trying to be the engine and get things going. And you see Frank getting into the paint at times, getting into the teeth of the defense, forcing the pressure to collapse from the defensive end. And that's what we saw. And then the mid-range was cooking. You saw his free throw line extended. Mid-range jumper was cooking. The three-pointers were cooking. You saw the confident Frank Ntilikina last Wednesday night in Philly. Fortunately, they lost that game. We knew what happened that game. They lost, unfortunately, but again, from a positive signs, that's what you want to see. From a player development standpoint, that's what you want to see. It's all about the confidence with Frank. And it's funny, I was just reading an article from Danny Small, Elite Sports New York. Salute to Danny Small. And he interviewed Nicholas Batum and Evan Fournier about Frank and going back to the FIBA Frank over the summer, the FIBA games, and his and their thoughts on Frank was the same. It's all about confidence, and they talk about in this article how much they really got into him about being the leader of the team. Like, this is your team now on the French national team. You're the point guard of this team. You got to make it go. So even on the French team, they've been having issues with Frank from a confidence standpoint. And so that's something that they're trying to get into him. And that's something that David Fizdale and the Knicks are trying to impose on this kid. Because if he can ever do that, then he could be a mainstay in the lineup. But the issue is that you'll have games like Wednesday in Philly, which was good, and you know what his defense is going to bring on a night in, night out basis, which is also good, top of the league standards. But from an offensive standpoint, he's just not putting it together night in, night out. You need that consistency. And so even though I thought he had a good week, it was also sort of bad in that obviously last night people were harping on the late game three-pointer that he missed from the corner. And people were high on it because you want Frank to hit those shots. Those are the shots that you want to see from Frank knocked down. And unfortunately, it was at a pivotal stretch in the game, and he clanked it. He clanked it. And so that's the bad side of Frank, is that he's not a good shooter right now. I mean, right now he's shooting 38% from the field, 31% from three. So you want to see those numbers go up. You want to see those numbers go up. And then also, like I mentioned on last night's post-game show, what you want to see from Frank is that you want to see him continue what he did in that Philly game and be assertive. He's still not 100% there. He's still not 100% confident at this stage in the game and really getting into the paint, getting into the defense. And that's part of the reason why our offense gets so stagnated sometimes, because you're relying on Julius, you're relying on Marcus to be the playmakers and the facilitators on the team. That's just not them. So that's on Fizz, on his schemes that he's calling. But I think that's also on Frank as well, man. Like, stop deferring. Take it and call your number. In the Philly game, we saw that pick and roll action that he was running with Taj. It was working very well. I'd like to see more of that. Run some more pick and roll action with Julius. Run it with Marcus Morris. We know Mitch isn't setting that good a screen, so run it with those guys and then get Mitch involved every once in a while. And so that was my good. That was the lone good. You know, Julius had his guarding game against Cleveland, but I want to see that against better competition. So that the jury's still out on Julius. You know, and Frank, you had the San Antonio game where he had 9 assists and 6 steals. And, you know, I know people say, well, listen, you can't, we're setting the bar too low for Frank. I get it. I definitely can agree with that to a certain extent. But if we're talking about just player development, small gains, small improvements, then yeah, I'm going to applaud him for that type of effort, because his assist to turnover ratio is also low. He's only averaging 1 turnover a game. 3.6 times 1 turnover a game. You know, obviously you want the assist numbers to go up, but I think he's playing a steady game, and he's averaging almost 2 steals. He's averaging almost 2 steals. So I think from a play development standpoint, that's something that I'm gonna applaud him for. Now, last night against the Nets, listen, Dinwiddie was cooking. We know that Dinwiddie was cooking, but if you look at the advanced stats show that Dinwiddie only scored the 8 points off of Frank. So I know a lot of people want to kill Frank for Dinwiddie's performance, but there was a lot of blame to go around for it. And at the end of the day, you just give credit where credit is due. Dinwiddie's a nasty player, man. He's a nasty player. But give Frank credit as well. He holds himself accountable. You know, he talked about the game last night, and he talked about being ready for the next opportunity because he didn't shoot the ball well. And also, on the flip side, after he missed that shot, Dinwiddie blew right past him on a play that he was guarding him. And Dinwiddie blew right past a couple other Knicks and laid the ball in. So give credit to Frank, man. He wants to be a dog. That's what he told Fizz. He wants to be a dog, and we'll just have to take it game by game and hope he can put it together. What happens when Peyton comes back, we'll see. We'll see how that affects both Frank and DSJ. I hope they let these kids play. I hope they let these kids play. So that was a good. Before we get to the bad, salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boy in this Monday Night Knicks. Salute to Sherwin M. He says Frank's offensive problem is confidence. Keep Keep up the aggressive play. He will get better. Agree with that wholeheartedly. Reaper Man, salute to Reaper Man. Says Frank is a good backup point guard. We'll see. Los Main, CP Live, what up, Los Main? Glory Ave TV, what's going on? CP the artist, how you guys feeling? The Shells, shout out my guy, the Shells, man. He's been helping me out tremendously with the podcast and the audio, so thanks a lot for that. And let's keep it rolling. So with the whole Frank situation, like I said, it's all about player development, and that kind of segues into the bad, which is player development. I mean, this was a tough week for the Knicks in terms of just the overall contributions from our kids, from the young kids, not our kids, but the kids on the team. Kevin Knox. I mean, let's bring Kevin Knox to the stage because Kev has been struggling. And I mean struggling, man. Kevin Knox, I told you guys when we were doing our season previews, I said in the midst of all of this free agency pickups, we gotta make sure that we gotta keep Kev tight. Gotta keep him tight. We can't lose Kev. That was very important going into this season, and he started off the season pretty well. Kevin Knox started off the season pretty well. And now he's really, really regressed. I mean, look at these numbers. And this is from NBA.com. If you split out the first 20 and the next 20, I mean, we're about 18 games in, so fairly close. First 10 games, he's averaging 10 points a game on 41% shooting. 1.8 threes per game, shooting almost 44% from three. Free throw percentage is a little bit up. Free throw attempts a little bit up. A little bit more minutes, 22 minutes. And if you look at the next 10 or the last 7 games, he's averaging just 5 points a game. 31% shooting. 26% from three. All right, 50% from the free throw line. I mean, Kevin Knox is lost out there, folks. He is lost. And we're not even talking about his defense right now. We're not even talking about his defense. So that has been a bad. How do we get Kev back on track? Fizz came out with the starting lineup with no RJ. He comes out and throws Kev at the 2 and says he wants to get his confidence up. How are you getting the kid's confidence up? By playing him out of position. How do you get the kid's confidence up by playing him out of position? To me, that is negligence. You just can't make it up. I don't understand how you feel you're going to get a kid's confidence up by playing him out of position at the 2 guard. He can't even guard 3s. So why do you expect him to guard 2s? So to me, that's just ass backwards. You're hustling backwards now. Patterson says he might be a bust. I'm nowhere near getting ready to call Kev a bust. First off, I think he needs time to develop. I think he left Kentucky early. He's still very raw when he came out, but I think Kev has the tools to be a solid rotation player on this team and in the league. I'm not going to go any further than that. I think Kev can be a good stretch 4. I think he has the length and the size that he can be an agile 4 out there, and I think he can contribute. I think he can. But he needs time on the floor. Salute to somebody who said that. Kev needs time on the floor. And we got to get him going. But playing him at the 2, that's not it. Playing him at the 2 is just not going to get it done. To me, the problem is, and I keep saying this, the problem is, well, listen, Julius is going to be Julius, all right? I know a lot of you guys want to bench him. You want to trade him, all that. You want to make him disappear. That's not going to happen, so you're going to have to deal with it. Morris, you need him. Morris is there. The problem is Portis. To me, Portis, you can leave him on the bench. He's not going to make or break us one way or the other. He'll be a luxury, but he won't be a necessity. And so, to me, Kev has to get those minutes at the 4. Kev has to get those minutes at the 4. Like I said, when we first got all these bigs, I wasn't expecting all these guys to be playing. And these guys log pretty significant minutes, whether it's off the bench or starting every night. And you look at Portis' numbers from last night. All right, 17 minutes, 1 for 5. 3 points, 4 turnovers, and minus 10 on the night. Whether you want to take plus or minus into consideration, you take it with a grain of salt. But if you're watching the games, you can see why. He's a defensive liability. And he's not horrible. Sean Brown says he isn't horrible. I get that. But I don't think he's a pivotal rotation piece that you have to give minutes to. I'm not losing sleep over Portis not getting minutes, to be honest. Like I said, he's a good kid. But I'd like to give Kev those minutes in his true position, and let's go. Let's get his confidence up. Not playing him at the 2. Not playing him at the 2. So that's part of the development. It's like, okay, where are we going with Kev? DSJ lost. Had a decent game last night. I liked how he was penetrating. I liked him from the 3-point line. He was 2 for 4 last night. Thought the Philly game he came back strong. But you still see him overthinking. You see him, obviously, the change of the jumper. You see him thinking about it. You see him trying to figure out how to be a point guard. Does he want to be, because he wants to stick with his tendencies. He wants to be that scoring guard, which is his strength. But obviously, we need him to be more. We need him to be more than that. So, where is he? Because he's still looking lost, man. He's still looking lost. And this season has gone as terrible. And it is his birthday. Happy birthday to Dennis Smith Jr., man. DSJ turns 22 today. But you couldn't ask for a more lousy start to a season for someone that we had such high hopes for so far. And he's just a kid. He's only 22, and yeah, he's been dealing with his personal issues, the injuries and things like that. So it's not to crap on him, but it's just to say, you wish things were a bit different for him, and hopefully he figures it out. And that's why I like to, even though Peyton probably gives us a better chance to win from a point guard perspective, I'd like to see DSJ and Frank get those minutes. That's all I'm saying. And so that's Knox. That's DSJ. ISO. Ari's boy. Where does ISO fit into the picture? Right now, he's on his 6th straight DMP. Has not played in 6 games. Where does ISO fall into the mix? Again, with a guy like Portis, he's getting 18 minutes last night. Could have divvied that up a little bit. Go smaller. Why not go smaller? Right? Why not go smaller and get ISO in there with Frank as your scoring 2 guard? Obviously Ellington was doing all right. He was doing okay with his minutes. Dotson, how'd Dotson do last night? Dotson's been pretty shaky. He was 8 points, 3 for 7, 5 boards. But obviously, he's going to play defense. But, hey, if this is development, we got to roll with it, man. And you got to be able to find some minutes for ISO in here. Got to be able to find some minutes from ISO in here. Mr. Mookie Mitchell says ISO's going to get traded. No room or minutes. It's possible. I can't say it's not. So ISO's in a funk. He's obviously been pushed out by the new additions. We talked about Dotson. He's kind of solidified a rotation spot. How about Mitch? How about Mitch for the youngsters? I mean, I think, Mitch is still showing promise. He's still playing well in spurts. He's playing well in spurts. Again, last night, what you didn't like about Mitch's game last night was just playing on disciplined ball. And we need Mitch to be much more disciplined than he's been. Because, other than that, we can't have him out there playing 19 minutes. Can't have him out there playing 19 minutes. I mean, we need a bit more out of Mitch. And so he's got to get more discipline. Fizz has got to get in his ear. Taj has got to get in his ear and say, yo, you got to pick it up. You got to set better screens. You got to be in position. It's not just about blocking shots. There's other aspects to the game that you got to continue to work on. So, and we know, listen, progress is not linear. We've heard that from a couple people this week, and I agree with that. Progress is not linear. But that's part of the development that you want to see the coaching staff impart on a guy like Mitchell Robinson, trying to get him to be smarter, play smarter. And so I think the youth movement collectively took a little bit of a step back this week. And with that, we have our eyes focused on December 15th. It's like everybody's kind of looking for a win some way, somehow, right? We're looking for a win some way, somehow. What is it going to be that's going to be that thing we look forward to? Like, I feel like some of you guys are just looking for like a blockbuster trade or something, and you got to pump the brakes, man. Pump the brakes. Remember, December 15th is just the start of the trading window when you can trade these free agents. The free agent deadline is still for 2 months after that. So just got to temper expectations, see what happens. But you're going to expect some of these guys to continue to get minutes. Morris is going to get his minutes. You got to play Ellington a little bit if you want to try to trade him. I don't know what you're getting for Portis. Probably nothing. But I think right now your hottest commodities are Morris, Ellington. I don't see them trading Randall, despite what a lot of you guys have dreaming about. I don't see them trading Randall. And Ian Begley brought up Frank as a potential trade target. Once again, Frank is a potential trade target as usual. And I made this point on Twitter today. I said, yeah, Morris I could see, Portis I could see, Ellington I could see. To me, trading Frank for a second-round pick is just hustling backwards. I don't see any point in doing that. To me, that just makes no sense. To me, that just makes no sense. I was talking to my guy, Anthony Parasol, about it. He's saying, if you can package him up in some sort of combo trade that gets you a better talent back, it depends on who it is, but I just don't see the point. I would say you have Frank at the minimum for 2 more years. Why not just develop him and see if his offense and the shooting can come around? I don't see the point in trading Frank. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the chat. If you guys are new in the chat, leave me a hashtag new. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up for you boys. No calls because I'm not going to be on here for too long. Just wanted to go through my weekly recap. 4-14. Salute to everybody who's still sticking around. 4-14, man. It's rough. It's rough, man. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, you hope it's still early and there's still hope. But it's getting late early, as Yogi Berra would say. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Daniel Angelero, what's going on? NYK Gunner says we still here, man. He's always here. What's going on? Ian Park checking in from Auckland, New Zealand. I got to tell you guys, man, Australia, New Zealand holds us down heavy out here in KnicksFanTV, Knicks Nation. You guys are the best. Salute to George Mayhe's team, hashtag new. Ed Santana. Salute Ed Santana. He's always in here. Chris Dada says, trade our one and only defender. No way. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you trade you're more promising defender and someone who, listen, the jumper can come around. You got 2 years with him. Let's see what happens. Mr. Tatham Works, hashtag new salute to you. Salute to everybody at work. Salute to everybody in the armed forces. Appreciate your service. If you guys are watching us on the road right now, salute to you guys, man. Be safe on the road. I want to salute Marcus, that guy, Jones. He sent the super chat. He says, please explain why we played Kev at the 2. I have no idea, man. I have no idea why that was even a thought for David Fizdale, but, you know, I'm not the coach. Louis B sends us a super chat. He sends us 2. I'm going to get to the other one in a second, but the first one, he says, I respect Mitch trying to bring that bully in the paint for us, but he needs to make smarter decisions. Thanks for all the reposts on IG. Appreciate it, Louis G. Louis G goes to a lot of the games, so he sends us photos and videos from the games, and that's for all you guys, man. For anybody that goes to a game, whether it's at MSG on the road, send us some pictures, send us some videos, some footage, and we'll post it on the IG page. Not a problem, man. We love when fans collaborate with us and send us some footage, so definitely do that. Another bad, and you know what? I really didn't even want to touch on this subject last night when everybody was DMing me this stupid Richard Jefferson thing. But the Knicks just continue to fall for the nonsense once again. So I'm just going to bring this up real quick because to me it's just bad that they even commented on it. So last night, this is what Richard Jefferson said on the Yes Network telecast.
I refuse to play for the Knicks. Like Jason Kidd and Kenny Martin, they don't really care. Me, I was the one person that said, Knicks, no, I'll retire. That's why I retired. They were the one team that offered me a job, and I decided to retire.
Is this a true story?
It's true. I decided to retire instead of play for the Knicks.
How about that?
It was true.
He said they're the one team that offered me a job, and I decided to retire. That's Richard Jefferson. So that was last night. He claims they tried to get him out of retirement to play. Now, I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. Like, I saw it. I was just like, it's Richard Jefferson. I really don't care. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And people were DMing me like, yo, CP, check this out. And all of that. I just couldn't care less, man. But then you have Knicks PR today. I'm coming home from rush hour, and I see Knicks PR tweets. For clarification purposes, it is not true that the New York Knicks offered Richard Jefferson a contract in 2018 and 2019. In case you really cared. And I'm just like, they took, my man Don Bolo commented right after that. They took the bait. Why would you take the bait? Who cares? This is what I'm saying, man. Who cares? Just let it go. Just let it go. You know, this is typical Knicks. And I was on, I did a podcast with John Smilk from WFAN. And that's on my channel as well if you guys want to check it out. And we talked about the Perry and Mills press conference, and he asked me what my thoughts were on that press conference, and I just said, you know, it's just adding more fuel to the fire. That is an agenda against the Knicks. You know, we're already in a bad spot. We're losing, all of that. You know, to have that press conference right there, throw Fizdale under the bus to cover your own ass, it just wasn't necessary. It just wasn't necessary. I'm trying to find the tweet, so then the Cavs clap back now from the Knicks PR tweet, and they might have deleted it. I'm trying to think. They just may have deleted it because the Cavs came back and said something to the effect of, just to clarify, Richard Jefferson won a championship with the Cavs. So I'm just like, wow, like you can't make it up, man. You just can't make it up. I'm trying to see if they deleted the tweet or something. I can't find it. But anyway, that's just what it is. I'm not even trying to shed enough light on it. But if I'm the Knicks, listen, man, the bottom line is this. We got to let our wins do the talking. We got to win. It's just too much foolery going on, bad auras, bad vibes around the team. And I understand some people are like, listen, we have to clap back because he lied on the front office. Okay, fine, but what are you going to do? You're going to come out with a tweet every time during free agency, during trade deadline when beat writers and all these guys make up rumors and stuff like that? Some are true, some aren't. So are you going to go after the ones that aren't true? It's just, to me, that it just, I would have just let it slide. Alan Rubin was going on. I would have just let it slide. You know what I mean? Shout out to Googie. Sends us a $5 super chat. He says RJ's a clown. Yeah, he's a clown. We knew that, and that's why I kind of just, when I heard about it, I was just like, whatever, man. I really could not care less. So the bad in that regard is we just got to be at a higher level. We got to win, man, and get rid of, because as soon as the tweet came out, the Cavs tweet came out, then everybody was just back on their Knicks for clicks, nonsense. And it's just, we're becoming infamous around the league for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? For the absolute wrong reasons. We are becoming infamous around the league, and that just has to stop, man. It just has to stop. Reminder to you guys that this show is also available in audio podcast format, man. Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, Alexa. So make sure you guys, if the mods can throw the links in the chat, make sure you guys remember that. If you guys are at work and stuff tomorrow, you can't watch video, hey, it's always in audio format, man. So definitely check that out. On the ugly side, once again, it's the free throws, man. The free throws are once again killing the Knicks right now, slowly. The free throws are killing us. Right now we're shooting 67% from the free throw line. And last night in the Nets game, we went again 9 for 16. Went 9 for 16 from the line. And like I said, when you're a bad team who struggles to score, who struggles to defend at key moments, the one thing that you should have going for you is your free throws. And this team just cannot hit them. I mean, Fizz got to lock them in the gym, man, and practice. I don't know what they're doing. Louis B asks, is the free throw percentage, is it a mental thing? I don't think it's a mental thing. I mean, what are their splits at home and the road of free throws? We got to see that. We got to see that. I don't think it's necessarily a mental thing. I just think these guys just can't hit. Like, we knew RJ going into this thing wasn't a good free throw shooter. We knew some of these guys weren't good free throw shooters. Randall wasn't the greatest. So they got to practice that, man. TM says, what's Royale Ivy doing? I'm not sure. I'm not too sure what Royale Ivy's doing in the mix. I think he's just happy to be here. Now, salute to Royale Ivy. He's a New York legend. Gotta respect him. But yeah, what is Royale Ivy doing in here? So yeah, we gotta get it together, man. And that's just the bottom line of this whole thing. Whether it's free throws, whether it's offense, whether it's timely stops, we gotta get it together, and that's just been the ugly. So we got Toronto coming up on Wednesday. Let's see what happens. We go up top, and let's see if they can pick things up. I'll close with this story. This story came out during the week, and it was about some of the changes that the NBA is trying to make to the season. Let me know what you guys thought about this when this came out. The NBA is looking to vote on a few changes to the season. For one, they're looking to reseed the conference finals. They're looking to reseed the conference finals, so the Final Four could be reseeded based on schedule. So it wouldn't just be Eastern Conference champion, Western Conference champion. You could have, let's say last year, the Final Four was Toronto, Milwaukee, the Blazers, and Golden State. So you could have had, if you took that into the scenario, you could have Golden State and the Bucks on one bracket, and then Milwaukee and the Blazers, and then Toronto and the Blazers in another bracket. So I thought that was kind of interesting because you try to end up with the two best teams playing each other. I thought that idea was kind of interesting. That one I could rock with. They said the WNBA is doing it right now. That one I could definitely come to grips with. Now, another idea they were tossing around was a play-in game for the playoffs. I don't like that one. That one, they say they would take the last 4 teams in each league, the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th team in the East and the West, and then have them play a tournament. To me, I'm not with that, because if I'm the 7th or 8th seed in the league and I played all 82 games to make it that far, why would I want to play another game against the 9th or the 10th best team to try to get in? To me, I don't like that. I don't like that. You play your 82 games, you deserve the right to be in the playoffs if you crack that final 8. You know what I mean? I don't like the final playoffs. So they're trying to make it like baseball. It doesn't make sense. I didn't really like it from a baseball perspective. So that I'm not feeling. What they're saying is they would have number 7 and number 8 play, number 9 and number 10 play. The winners would play each other for one spot, and the losers would play each other for the other spot. I'm not really feeling that. I'm not really feeling that. And then the last thing they're looking into is a in-season tournament. Now he thinks this is FIFA, Adam Silver. In-season tournament where you would play basically a tournament within your regular season schedule. And I'm just running to see what the end game would be. You would have pre-knockout round games would be part of the regular season schedule. 6 divisional winners based on home and road records in the group stage, and 2 teams in the next best records would advance to a single elimination knockout round. Those teams could potentially compete in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. CP, the artist, says they're trying to get LeBron to get more rings. Hey, that might be the closest thing the Knicks will get to winning something, you know? The Charles Smith Memorial Cup. The Eddie Curry Memorial 3-on-3 Papa Shot Finals goes to the Knicks. The tournament could be all right. I don't know. They're trying to figure out the perfect time to do it, because obviously if you stretch it into December, January, then you're talking about football time, and you know football is sacrosanct in this country, and playoffs is a whole nother level. So I don't think you would get as much eyeballs on the NBA games. And then they were also talking about potentially All-Star break, replacing it, but the players have already said no to that. And you know, All-Star weekend is one big marketing exploitation, one big billboard. So that's when the sponsors are trying to make their money and cash in. So I don't see that happening. But that's intriguing. To me, it would have been better if they could do it, and maybe this is a start to it, but it wouldn't have the same effect like soccer would. And some of you soccer fans out there, I'm not a big soccer fan, but I know how it works. Gary Singh says the Knicks gonna get eliminated first. In the first annual Charles Smith Papa Shot Finals, the Knicks lose. The Knicks don't qualify. But I think the way that it works in soccer, why it's so good, like a Champions League or FA Cup type of thing, is because you have the teams from every different country and every league around the world competing in this, or the major leagues around the world. I think that would be dope from a basketball standpoint if you had NBA, you had the Spanish League, you had the Turkish League, or you had the CBA in China, or Brazilian League and the French League, and you had all those players, the Australian League, or maybe even NBL, and have those finalists kind of come together in some sort of World Cup thing. I think that would be interesting, but I think that would be a long way from happening. That'd be a long-term way from happening. Somebody said All-Star Weekend is a wash. Now, yeah, the All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend is definitely a wash. So I could definitely see that. Juju says Georgetown beats the Knicks. Somebody said, why'd I have to mention Charles Smith? Hey, we're in Charles Smith territory of bad right now. So that's a perfect analogy. Mr. Mookie Mitchell says NBA in Australia. Yeah, NBL is definitely in Australia. And speaking of which, you got LaMelo going off in Australia right now. But anyway, yeah, back to these changes. So they're saying that there's a vote that's going to happen, or some sort of agreement that needs to be discussed between the Players Association and the NBA. And they're trying to vote on this in April to start in the 2021-2022 season. So something to consider. You know what I mean? Something to consider. See what happens. But that's it. And Louis B says it would be like the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, something like that. I think the tournament would be intriguing if you could make it work. Obviously, it would take some time before it would have any sort of weight to it. It's hard to just say, yeah, this is a play-in championship, and then still have the NBA Finals coming up. But I think, if you get some competitive games, it could be something. The reseeding of the Final Four, I think that would be interesting too, just to get some different matchups and see how that goes. Obviously, this year, the East and the West is wide open. So I think it's going to be interesting either way, as is. But that'd be interesting. I would definitely be intrigued. Ron Cleveland says, I can't believe Fizdale is still in New York stealing money. Hey, that's our coach right now, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to rock with it and see what happens, man. Just hope for improvements. Consistency and improvement is the name of the game. Salute to Ron Cleveland once again. And, yeah, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. Salute to everybody who's watching. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boy. We are back again Wednesday night. Knicks versus Toronto Raptors in Toronto against the world champs. Can we steal a victory? Can we get a victory? 4-14 right now, man. We gotta get back to good graces. Share these videos. Please share these videos. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Text message. Text your friend. Text a friend right now who's a Knicks fan. If you know a Knicks fan right now who does not know about this show, text him right now. Share this video with the link. Text him. Say, yo, check this show out, man. Show him some of the videos. Show him some of the post-game shows, the Battle of the Fans, the special guest appearances. Show him the Alan Hahn show, the Chris Childs show, the Ian Begley show. Show him all those things, man. Let him know KnicksFanTV is number one show for the fans, by the fans. Whether we're 4-14 or 14-4, we try to make it what it is, man. That's a community of Knicks fans just coming together worldwide to express their emotions on the team and just have a good time doing it. So I hope you guys are having a good time. Hit that thumbs up for you boys once again. Reaper Man, appreciated all the mods. Geraldine, have a good night. Jai Manny, have a good night. Gotham, Sean Brown, NY for life, you already know. Chuck Allen, I appreciate you. Ed Santana, appreciate you guys, man. So, yeah, remember, this is also all available in audio podcast format, like I said earlier. Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon Alexa. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you're on iTunes, if iTunes is your podcast of choice, please write us a review on iTunes. It would go a long way. It means a lot to us. Shout out to everybody who left us a super chat. All the donations go back into the show, as I said. And we appreciate you guys supporting an independent, for the fans, by the fans movement that's only going to continue to get better, man. So I'm out of here, people. See you Wednesday night. Have a good evening. Peace.